Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me today for another Budget With Me video. I am super excited about my new workbook. If you didn't see my last video, please go check that out. I do explain the changes to my budget, primarily how, or actually the method of which I budget. I am just strictly moving from a book to a digital format, and making things a whole lot easier. I do have a lot to show you, so stick with me and see all the changes. All right, everyone. So I have a lot that I wanted to show you today. So let me move some of this away. Primarily the changes that I made in my book. So this is our monthly spread. Now I am still going to use the calendars that are within this book until I basically run out. I believe I only have 4 months left to use this calendar, and then I do have another calendar I am interested in, which will replace this one. It is strictly just a calendar. So when I do get that in, I will be transitioning. I don't know when that is. I haven't saved up for it yet, but I do have a calendar I have my eyes on. So that will be coming, not tomorrow. I can promise you it's not coming tomorrow. So I screwed up my colors. Have you ever done that? You highlight the wrong days and then it gets all jumbled up and you realize you marked the wrong dates? Yeah, that happened to me this time. So we are on the paycheck for May 24th. This is the last paycheck in May, and it did include our mortgage week. So we are going into June. So our 24th paycheck paid for our mower loan. Going into June, it also paid our mortgage, our LifeLot subscription, our Synchrony cards, and our solar loan. Our next paycheck is on the 7th, which would take care of the middle of the month. But for right now, we're just concentrating on the last paycheck of May. All right, so I am going to try doing it this way. I did get a new iPad stand, which is working out awesome, by the way. I will put a link for this down below. I did get it on sale. I don't know if it's still on sale, but I'll link it in the description box. So this is my new workbook, if you will. I did show a little bit of it last time in my last video, basically why we changed the way that we did things. We had bills that we weren't accounting for, and we didn't have enough room. So we are now in the digital realm of things, but I am still tracking the way that a lot of people are. I'm just doing it different. So some portions of my workbook are also in workbooks like the Budget Mom and cash envelopes and where did my money go, things of that nature. They're just done a little different. So I hope this makes sense. I hope you enjoy my layout. I am absolutely super excited to use it. It took a little bit of time for me to make. I had fun with it. And that was the one thing that I was worried about, is I didn't want, when you work on a computer for a living and you're always on the computer, the last thing you want to be is on a damn computer. So I wanted this to be fun for me to use, easy for me to use, and I wanted to put a lot of auto calculations in it. That's exactly what I did. So I do have a dashboard. I do need to change and make sure that my numbers are calculating correctly, but this was the overall idea. I just wanted a snapshot. Important things to remember, things that I need to keep on my agenda for the year, and stay on track of. Our bill sheets, this is just a rundown of a list of all of our bills and the amount that they're due each month. This little graph right here is broken down from this table. This does not include our sinking funds, such as our daily expenses and our food budget. This is strictly our living expenses, our debt, and our wants. And our wants is basically like my husband's driving subscription. He doesn't need that. Disney Plus, our Max, Prime, and Paramount subscriptions. Those are wants. Those are not needs. So that is kind of how I broke this down. And then we have our budget. So our paycheck 1, we covered in the last video. That was the beginning, I believe it was May 10th. We are on May 14th. So let me, see, it doesn't work on this one. It only works on my other one. So let me go to my other one. I don't know why it won't work on the Google Sheets app, but it will work here. See, I have a little pop-up calendar, man. I wanted to use it. So it works in the web version. I cannot get it to work in this version. It just doesn't for me. I don't know why. But we had $32.25 for our income this month. And this leaves us with an income. Now I only count the checks that physically get deposited into our account in the month we're in. I know that we're covering a little bit of a few days in June. That's fine. So physical checks, we had May 10th and May 24th. Our total monthly income for the month of June was $6,656. So one thing I did not include additional on here was the extra monies that I had. So I do have cash that I accumulated. So this was the $20 that came out of our May 10th budget for our cash withdrawal, which is right here. I went grocery shopping this past weekend. I took out the 20. This is from last paycheck. I just have to put this in the cash box. This $17 is from eggs that I have sold. So this is going back in our cash box. So all in all, this money has to be accounted for. So this already got accounted for last paycheck. There's a $20 cash. I don't need to count it, but I am going to count this 17. So it is just going to go as additional income, $17. However, I am going to also account for it going in my cash box, $17. Oops. Cool? Cool. All right, so this is actually our mortgage month. So we have $2,070 coming out for our mortgage. I am in the process of paying off the first Synchrony card that needs to be paid off by October. So I am tackling that aggressively right now, which means I'm only making my minimum payment on the second Synchrony, which is $103. Out of our loan categories, we have solar loan coming out and the mower loan that is actually due today. So our paycheck is tackling the last few days in May, as well as the first week of June. Excuse me. Our LifeLock subscription comes out beginning of the month, and that includes our $75 buffer. Our bill total is $2,855, leaving us $387 left. So as you can tell, the budget by paycheck blue section really mimics the budget mom or budget by paycheck worksheets that you get really from anybody. I wanted to keep the same flow. That was my whole point. I really like the flow of going in order of operations, if you will. So this second paycheck, this is just showing the $17 in cash that I have from selling hatching eggs. That was included in our income. That's going right in the cash box. I am also going to include an extra $50 towards our fencing project. That really has to happen rather quickly. our past tax obligation was satisfied and we thought that we were getting a refund. That is not something I am going to go over on a public forum, but basically they're not following their own rules and they took our refund for something that was way previous to our payment arrangement. I'm talking more than 15 years that we are currently fighting. So not going to get into that further in detail on that. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I tried. That was supposed to pay for a lot of our bigger expenses, and now they are back in the budget. So our fencing project is going to be funded as a sinking fund. Now you'll notice a few changes. If you've been following me for a while, you may notice that the animals and pets are now up with my daily spending as well as our cash. Of all people, y'all, it was my youngest son that brought this to my attention. Made me, oh my gosh, I laughed like hell. Because it wasn't something that I had expected. He's like, Mom, these should be your daily envelopes, not your sinking funds, because you pull from them all the time. So he was right. So my cash envelope, my pets envelope, and my animals envelope, that has been pushed up to the daily spending category, eliminating some of my sinking funds. So they're still here. It's just in a different spot. Any extra debt? We are left with $320. I decided to put the majority of that on our Amazon credit card because that is our highest interest that we are paying off right now. That is $150 extra. And $95 extra on our first Synchrony card that is due to be paid off in October. Now, I didn't include the $40 minimum payment that is due the same time as our second Synchrony card, primarily because last paycheck we put a $100 payment. That basically took away my minimum payment because it's not showing one now. So I am putting down an additional $95 with the remainder of $75 on the second highest interest card that we were tackling previously. I'm going to put the remainder on that, leaving us with a zero balance. So some of the pages that I chose to incorporate from the Budget Mom workbook and some other workbooks that I had tried in the past that I really liked how they broke it down, I wanted to include it also. And I was excited about this part primarily because I can do the calculations once and then every time it just autofills. I'm not doing a manual process every single time. And I like how I broke it down into the first paycheck and the second paycheck so I can see my progress of how all my totals are calculating versus just at the end of the month. So paycheck 1, we put away $1,026 on our credit card payments. And with paycheck 2, we were able to put $423 on our credit card payments, making this month of May, we made $1,449 on our credit card payments as a combination of minimum payments as well as extra additional payments, which is awesome. Now, our loan payments, paycheck 1, which was May 10th, we paid $245. That was just in minimums. And then paycheck 2, which was May 24th, we paid $544 in minimum payments. So we did not pay any extra loan payments. We focused primarily on extra credit card payments. Now, our digital cash stuffing, these are primarily our envelopes. So while a lot of other budgeters would count cash for this step, I basically just totaled it. So my digital cash stuffing for my daily spending would be my daily spending envelopes, my grocery budget, my health. Speaking of which, the last video that I went over all of my changes to my budget, I had grocery split out into 3 sections because I do go to Dollar General and I do go to HEB for certain items. I decided for the sake of budgeting that I would do one total, and then I have upgraded my wallet. The kids got me a new wallet for Mother's Day, y'all. I could have cried. It is absolutely beautiful. When that comes set up, if you will, to show you the wallet that I got, it does include envelopes. I did tell my son my plan on what I wanted to do, and they ended up buying me a cash wallet. So I'm super excited. I don't carry cash, so this is strictly for, I am going to have my trackers per store in my grocery envelope so I know where I spent money. And I also go to CVS about once a month, every other month, because my husband does get supplements and we buy our coffee. The coffee expense I allotted myself for CVS, I included in my grocery budget. So that's why it looks a little wonky. It's normally $4.25. And my health is strictly the supplements that we get at CVS. So I'll show you how I track those so that I can account for everything. Date night, miscellaneous, and animals. Pets, cash, and gas and fuel. That will all be trackers in my wallet, seeming I don't carry cash. So that's a way that I've chosen to track my spending versus doing it digitally, because we really don't spend outside of our budgeted amounts. Unless it's a dire emergency, then it would go on the credit card. That's far and few between though, thank God. Thank gosh we're there now. But so that is what I had tracked with my daily spending. The sinking funds and extra is primarily my sinking fund amounts that I put into my digital envelopes, which I will show in a second, as well as my additional savings will calculate up here. So I did $9.55 last paycheck because that was the middle of the month and did not include our mortgage. That filled all of our envelopes for our daily spending in our sinking funds. This May 24th paycheck 2, we did 17 from my selling eggs in our cash that will go in the cash box, and $20 from last check, which is not included on here, but was part of our daily spending. Where did my money go? This is mimicking the Where Did My Money Go worksheet. This is primarily taking all of our bills and all of our sinking funds and divvying them up. So where did my money go? We spent 46% on expenses. That is primarily electric, car insurance, our mortgage, and cell phones and internet. 2.9% is all on our subscriptions. That would be things like Disney Plus and Prime. Unexpected bills. We did have tolls that came from when we went and got storage. That was in a prior month. This month we paid for the toll bill, so that was 0.3%. Our grocery budget was 6.7%. Health, 0.4%. Date night is 1.5%, as well as our miscellaneous. Our animals and our pets were a combined 2% or 2.1%. My cash withdrawal of $20 was 0.6%. We spent 1.9% on gas and fuel. This is gas in my car, diesel in my husband's truck. Sinking funds got 2.5%. Debt, we paid 18.8%. Extra debt, we made 14.8%. And extra savings, which would be retirement, emergency, pool renovation, homestead, and our drainage project, because we do have flooding around our property, which is moving toward our house. We have sandy soil. Sand moves, y'all. So we have not put anything toward that yet, and that should equal 100. So I went further and we paid 33.5% of total debt this month, 17.5% of daily spending. We were able to save 2.5%, and our expenses were 46.5%. that equaled 100%. So that is my budget per paycheck. And a lot of the where did my money go tabulations show up in this graph up above. It's just more of a visual representation versus just seeing numbers. So that is this sheet. And next month, you'll actually see this sheet completely empty, which we'll start from scratch. These are my cash envelopes. So I have each square is representative of a daily spending or sinking fund envelope. And this is the amount that I have in each one as of when I did this video, which is May 29th. And I have an ongoing project list of things that we want to add in the future and a running total of all of my sinking funds. I am blessed that we do have an emergency fund. And I just want to get that more up to covering a month or two of expenses. Right now it does not. It only covers about half of our mortgage. We have saved so far in all of my cash envelopes, or should I say digital cash envelopes, $1,668.26. All of my cash envelopes are separate accounts within my banks. I have more than one bank. Long-term hold savings go to one bank and my short-term savings go to the other. These are because my savings accounts and my checking accounts are free. I know that a lot of people do not have that available to them. You can easily do this as one sinking fund account, one long-term savings account, and just track it digitally. That's what I do. I have some of these, like our fencing project and our homestead fund is actually one bank account, even though it's two on here. So, I mean, you can combine these all into one, or as many as want, however many you feel that you can manage, and then segregate them digitally, keeping track of the amounts, so that you have all of your totals and all of your allocated money. I even went as far as to go through all of my apps, which will be a completely separate video. I basically have all of my money saving apps and everything that I've saved. I've saved so far since January $470.76. So that will be a different video. I'll go over all of the ways that I save money, how much I've saved in each of the avenues that I use, what I would not probably use in the future, and what I will be adding. I save money all the time. I don't like paying full price for anything. Everything has to come off with a promo code, a sale, credit card points, coupons, you name it, I will use it. So this is our budget for the last paycheck in May. We will be starting a new budget as of next paycheck, which will be, let me get out my calendar. It will be June 7th will be our next paycheck, which we are starting on a very clean month. And you'll kind of see how everything populates and fills itself out. As well as I do have a savings challenge book. So I will be going over all of the saving challenges that I did create for myself to save extra money. I did notice in my, let me go into my grocery budget. I do believe I have $11 left. So I wanted a place to put all of my gas, health, date night, any of this daily spending that I do not spend all of due to all of the couponing that I do and apps that I use. I am going to throw it into savings challenges, because I try very, very hard to utilize every penny that I allot myself. And the more I use YouTube to hold myself accountable, the more I've noticed I am not spending as much. So I am going to throw all of those extra dollars into savings challenges and see how far we get, as well as showing on a separate video how I do my cash stuffing and my cash apps that I use to get money back and use coupon rewards. Whew, I feel like this video was a huge mouthful. I do. One last thing is I found spare change when we went to vacuum our car for free at the car wash. We found 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I found 26 cents lying on the ground. You bet your butt I picked it up. So I will come up with a way to track that, something fun. Just trying to make this fun. It's really, really, really discouraging. I've been discouraged and frustrated more ways than I can count throughout these past 6 months. So we're just gonna keep trucking, try new and different things. My son has convinced me to step outside of my norm because I'm not really one for change. I will do the same thing for the rest of my life and not change. So I am trying to get more creative, to trust in myself a little bit more, to know that I am on the right track. I just need to get a little bit better. And hell, I want to join the fun. All these ladies, beautiful, beautiful ladies doing sinking challenges, I want to join the fun. I'm sorry, savings challenges. So that is something that I'll unveil in a video in the next couple of days. And I hope you enjoyed this budget video, budgeting with my new system, my new Google Sheets workbook. We'll go through it as we go. Yeah, I never know how to end these videos, y'all. I really don't. But anyways, I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. I know I did. We got a lot done. Had more storms. I will show a picture. I had a huge branch fall on my chicken coop, which I'm sure scared the crap out of them. So we will be fixing that. That's not a hard fix. And in fact, I have everything already here to fix it. Yay! So until next time, when we do our January 7th, I keep saying January, y'all. June 7th paycheck, as well as a cash stuffing video, digitally, of course, and how I use all of my cash saving apps. That'll be coming out in the future, as well as a wallet that my sons very lovingly picked out for me, which I'm so excited, y'all. So super excited. Yeah. Until next time. Bye, y'all.